Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I'm Mike Albertin, and who's doing some crossword puzzles with me tonight?
I'm Kenneth. Yep, that's all I got.
Hi, everybody. It's Kenneth Sanity, and I am not the Zodiac. And if I was, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
I'm Bill Tucker from A Gamer Looks at 40, and Mike, you're looming. No looming. Stop looming.
Definitely using
I do loom.
Yeah, you do.
This is the Nathan speaking.
It would have been I would have been actually more clever if I just went and just breathe heavy into the microphone. Yeah, that would have been actually more clever than what I wrote down last night.
Every time that happened, it activated my manual breathing.
That was a thing, wasn't it? At one, people used to do prank calls and breathe in the phone.
You did is your refrigerator running? You better go touch it. No, we never did that. Oh.
I wasn't born in the 50s, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, because caller ID is not around yet. Even like star 69 or 67 wasn't around yet, so you couldn't track people. Yeah, and so we are here to talk about Zodiac. Came out directed by David Fincher and came out in 2007, based on a book that came out in 1986 and 2002.
Before you were born.
Yep, one of them. Yeah, and distributed by Paramount and Warner Brothers, I guess, International. Oh, Paramount. Okay. So I always start these off with memories. I had never seen this film before. Not really sure why. I just never did. Kind of was curious about it. Last year, late 2024, I watched a documentary that came out, and it got me really interested to do this movie. I thought about it, and then I was so busy with other stuff. Then I rewatched the documentary again and went, shit, we need to do this movie. So that's my history with it. Tiffany.
Oh, I remember when it came out, and I was like, nah, I don't want to go see that. And that was about it. So I think this is the first time I've ever seen it. Sad.
Not sad.
But I also watched that documentary.
And Ken.
I did not watch that documentary, but I did see this when it came out in theaters. I'm a big David Fincher fan. I like to try to go see his movies in theater whenever possible. I honestly didn't. I was just kind of on this one when I first saw it.
Okay. And Bill.
So this is one of those movies that I would categorize as one of those, I've never seen it because it was too dang long. It was one of those where I sat down to watch it probably a number of times, saw the runtimes, like, I don't have 2.5 hours for this. So I've never seen this in its entirety, but I've seen enough clips, I think. This, again, is a famous movie. But this is my first actual watch through, and I think I liked it a lot more than Ken did when he first saw it. I don't know how you feel about it now, Ken, but I like this quite a bit. This doesn't feel like a David Fincher movie, but it does in a lot of different ways, and we'll talk about it as we go through.
And Nate.
I bought this on DVD at a pawn shop when I was 17 in 2009-ish, and got home, and I didn't watch it for the longest time because I was like, this is going to freak me out. And I really liked it. There's a lot more talky than Dewey, but I liked it a lot.
That's fair.
And on this rewatch, I was like, this is so good.
Well, that's completely fair. I mean, I was surprised how much talky is in this movie. Like, I was not. Well, I mean, yeah, but true. This is a very just talking heavy movie. It's not a.
Well, what did you want them to do? It's not like there's a lot of action.
No.
In the case.
But when I saw a 2.5 hour runtime, I thought
they were going to be.
I thought there'd be more.
Busting down doors or something?
I don't know what I thought, but this movie is not what I expected.
But I mean, the dialogue is written in such a way, like it just, I don't know. All of it is ear catching.
Yeah, they talk good.
Yeah. It wasn't boring.
Like I don't know how to describe it. Like it's just like, oh yeah, this is good.
Well,
I think what
that's saying something right there, guys.
That is saying something actually. It's very snappy dialogue. That's how I would kind of describe it. Everything, there's no wasted lines in this, and everything is done with a purpose, and everything is at least clever, or it's shedding light on the mystery. So this is a very efficient script, which is amazing considering it's a 2.5 hour movie. You would think there'd be some fluff in there. This movie moves, and it doesn't stop going, and it really has to, considering it's spanning 3 decades, right? Like of the Zodiac Killer.
Right.
So it's got to be efficient. So it's a very efficient movie for being as long as it is. Evidently, the original cut was 3 hours long, but the studio made David Fincher reduce it, and But he had at this point, because he had already done Fight Club, he had already done a bunch of stuff. He was at the point where he could have final edit on the movie. So he basically said, all right, I'm done editing this. This is the length, and they had to accept it at the length. So he played ball with the studio, but he got down to this 2 hour, 37-minute mark, and that was the extent of it. He was like, I'm done. I'm not doing any more.
I like to think that he rolled up to that office, like smoking a cigarette, dressed like Robert Downey Jr. from the movie, and he just chucks on a desk and goes, there.
Here.
So was Robert Downey Jr. just playing Robert Downey Jr. in this movie then?
He always does.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Well, this is like 2007, right? I want to say 2007, right? This is
It's 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2007, Robert Downey Jr., I think he was on the other side of his issues. Because 2007 was also the year of, if I'm not mistaken. No, was it the year of
Iron Man?
not Iron Man. No, Iron Man was 2011. The war movie, funny, Tropic Thunder.
I've never seen that. I don't want to ever.
No, that was 2008. same
Okay,
as
so
Iron
he-
Man.
Okay.
Also, Iron Man.
Oh, so Iron Man was 2008?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Oh my god. Okay.
He was playing Iron Man before he played Iron Man. He was just prepping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that far off.
This was a year after A Scanner Darkly and 2
yeah.
years after Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. So this is like when he's really starting the run up to the oh hey, I'm Robert Downey Jr. again.
Okay, I don't know any of his movies really, other than Iron Man and on.
Oh, you're missing out.
He's got some good. He's an excellent actor. There's definitely differences for sure. He's kind of settled into a vibe, but yeah, he's a good actor, and he's got some good stuff. And he's good in this. He plays this role very well. A very lived-in experience, I think. I think he knows this world pretty well.
Yeah, no, it felt very realistic. And Ken, what is the plot of this movie?
I actually wrote one this time. I'm very excited.
Yay!
A cartoonist befriends a crime reporter and a prolific police officer in his attempt to figure out the greatest mystery of all. Who is the Zodiac Killer? Along the way, more friends are gained, wives are found and lost, and children get too close to the truth of the world in this gripping story of murder, obsession, and movie posters, which could prove that the real Zodiac Killer was inside us the whole time. Or it was that guy in the hardware store. Yeah, it was definitely that guy in the hardware store.
I'm so sorry for stepping over that.
Oh, don't even worry.
I thought you were done. That was so good. I love it. What's the name of the actor who plays the eventual Zodiac Killer? What's his name? That guy. I love that guy.
John Carroll Lynch.
Yep, John Carroll Lynch.
God, is he good? I really like him.
A lot of stuff.
I always remember him from Fargo and a bunch of other different movies. But he's very good.
Yep, Fargo. That's where I remember. You betcha.
He's always good. And some of our more eagle-eye viewers may recognize him from a little movie called Bubble Boy, starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Hell yeah,
yes.
Bubble Boy.
Never seen that. I don't want to.
It's the prequel to Zodiac, so you're kind of missing out.
No.
On the ZCU.
He was also in one of my favorite point-and-click adventure games, Return to Krondor. He was a voice in that from 1998. So
Get out of here. That's crazy.
Okay.
All right.
Got work. I recognized him. I couldn't say where I knew him from, but I recognized him. He's been in a lot of TV and a lot of movies. He's just, one of those actors.
Damn, he was in the Drew Carey Show?
mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, yes.
American Horror Story, he played John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, not one that we watched.
All right.
Get him being serial killers.
I mean, technically, we don't know that guy, Arthur Lee Allen, was the killer.
We'll get there, but we're pretty damn sure.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
He's dead now. He can't do shit.
Yeah,
No.
I mean,
His estate could.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an estate.
His trailer could.
If they didn't do anything for this movie, they're not going to do anything.
I mean, to be fair, he's also a pedophile, so I doubt he got. No.
again, I guess allegedly. Again, I don't see. Here's
allegedly.
is it not? I see. I don't
He was
know anything
arrested
about.
for being a pedophile.
Okay,
The
I don't.
actual,
I know.
person was.
I know very little about the actual Zodiac Killer, the actual mythos and the actual story. Obviously, this was pulled from a lot of the actual case files, and this is supposed to be pretty accurate. this is very meta because the this is based off the book that Jake Gyllenhaal is writing, and this is the movie based off the book, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I don't know anything about the actual thing, though. I don't. So for me, I'm just enjoying this as a fictional film and saying, yeah, it's probably some stuff made up, I'm sure.
Almost everything about the Zodiac Killer that they show you in this movie, all that is that like it's like the crimes, all those are fact.
All right, interesting.
Like the hood, all that's all real. Where he takes the only thing they didn't completely, they were a little bit off when the lady that he kind of kidnaps, where he loosens her tire and then says, "Oh, hey, your tire fell off there."
I didn't know that.
He came back for her when she's in the ditch. He's looking for her because she survived, and she talks about it. And she said, "I saw him driving around looking for me, but then he drove off."
That scene has stuck with me since I first saw the film because that like I'm gonna kill like before I kill you, I'm gonna throw your baby from the car, and then it just cuts to the truck or the car driving up to the truck. It's just like, oh my god. And it is so just like terrifying.
Almost everything in this movie, because I have actually like watched a bunch of stuff about Zodiac after I watched other documentaries. Like, no, almost everything in here is actually accurate. So, and Arthur Lee Allen was arrested as a pedophile. All that is 100%.
That's when Zodiac disappeared for 4 years.
When Zodiac doesn't write any letters, all that is accurate too. So the movie is actually really the only thing that was a little bit like fuzzy that I don't know for sure is the stuff with the movie guy when he goes in the guy's basement and stuff. That I don't know if any of that is accurate.
Boy, what a setup that is.
God. What a scene.
That's a scene. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie where the escalation of tension in as he's going down into the basement, doing all the things that he should know not to do if you've ever seen a horror movie. If you've ever seen a scary movie, don't do any of those things. Don't follow the creepy guy in the basement. Don't accept tea. He didn't accept tea. That's a smart move on his part. Just don't.
In his defense, he did say, "No, that's okay." And like tried to leave before going in the basement.
The door is locked. And again, we're going to bounce around, I think, a lot in this, but there's so many great moments of this tension. But I think that's probably my favorite one where I really felt like I was on this mental journey, mental journey, emotional journey, however you want to call it, with that writer. I felt like I needed to know who it was. And it's a masterful job of creating tension and putting the audience in the shoes of somebody who is becoming literally obsessed with something that's just not his job. It's just, but he becomes
caught up.
He got caught up in the mystery, and he, as he says in the beginning, I like to solve puzzles, and this is the granddaddy of all puzzles for a long time. And it's really great how watching him unravel, and it's really, really excellent. Well done.
So, did y'all recognize the actor playing Mr. Bob Vaughn?
Bob Vaughn. Which one was Bob? A lot of characters in this movie.
The movie poster guy.
He looks familiar, but I would not be able to tell you where I've seen him from.
That is Charles Fleischer, probably best known as the voice of Roger Rabbit.
Get out of here.
Yep.
That's really cool.
That is actually exceedingly cool.
He was also Dr. King in the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
So he's got some chops, and man, did he fucking work it.
It was
boy, oh boy.
That was a part where I was bummed because I know the story pretty well, and I'm like, oh man, otherwise this is a really good, like the tensity of it. Everything is so good, and I'm like, but I know he doesn't die because I know who this person is. Like, I was a little bummed. But I really liked it.
For me, as someone who never watched it and has only seen the scenes of Arthur, again, right? That's the character's name, Arthur. Yeah, Arthur Lee. I've seen that scene when he's being questioned. It's a very famous scene in filmmaking, and for good reason. It's really well done. And I had I had a thought like, oh, that must be the Zodiac Killer. But then when he gets away, I'm like, maybe not. I was fully along the ride, and I was full in. I'm like, oh no, he's in the spider's web. This is it. But so it got me. They fooled me on that one.
No. He does. That scene is like, I don't know. I listen to a lot of true crime, and when he's just sitting there and like they're questioning him, and then he kind of talks about his neighbor, and then he's like, "Oh, the bloody knives were from I killed a chicken," and they're like, "What?" Like that comes up a lot in interrogations where like they'll just start explaining things that weren't asked because they're like, oh, I need to cover my, I need to come up with an excuse in case they mention this.
Yeah, it's legal to be weird. You're allowed to be a weirdo. You're not allowed to kill people, but it's certainly, I kill chickens. It's cool. And that's strange. Yeah, but not illegal. Can't throw me in jail for that.
But he's like, well, I think that's why, I think my neighbor called the other officer on me because he saw the knives in my trunk. And it's like, that makes no sense.
And we didn't ask that question. Why are you volunteering this information, sir?
Is it true though? His neighbor called the cops.
I don't know about that part. I know a lot, but I don't know that. So I was unsure, but it's a good part, that's for sure. I had actually never even seen a clip of that interview before, like of that scene, like on TikTok or nothing. I had no idea. I mean, I was wondering, I'm still curious how much of that is how much of that conversation was from the real interview we did all those years ago.
I wonder.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot. They had access to case files and stuff like that. So they had their fingers in the actual stuff. I knew he was full of shit the minute he walked in that room. No left-handed person wears their watch on their left hand. You don't do it. You scratch up the watch face. You wear it on your non-dominant hand. As a left-handed person, I was like, nah, you, sir, are full of shit.
What got me was when he was walking, because didn't someone describe him as he was lumbering?
Yes.
And
there's
the lumber.
Yeah, the officers of the taxi killing, because I guess the call goes out that they're looking for African American, and then before it's corrected, they saw him, and he was just kind of lumbering and wearing dark clothes.
Oh, Bill, all that is real.
That's crazy. And what an acting job by those two, too.
Is when they saw the guy who they think might have been when they drove up to him, like they don't mention in this movie. The guy said, "Oh yeah, I saw somebody waving a gun that way," and they drive off that way.
He sent him in the opposite direction.
That's what left out of the movie.
Wow.
But that really happened.
It reminds me of that John Mulaney bit where he's like, before science, they were just like, I have a hunch.
I mean, we are trying to go back to it as a country. We think you're guilty, therefore you are guilty. So hey, we're trying.
If you're a woman.
We're not white.
Look, if we've learned anything from this movie as a lesson to take forward, folks, if you ever see somebody out there lumbering, they're up to no good.
Yes. Never mind the fact they may have a bad back. Maybe they stubbed their toe. If someone is no, that's it. Now just go direct to incarceration and questioning.
Just
gotcha.
report
At
it,
least questioning.
Immediately report it. Just be like, guy lumbering in park.
This is so random and off topic, but that's why I love being on the show, because I can go these places. Has anyone ever had a bad back at some point?
Oh yeah,
injured their lower back. Oh my! Yeah. I do not wish that. I had a situation once. We were playing throw burrito at my friend's house, and I dove out of the way of a burrito and threw up my back for a week. And I was lumbering. Around New York City, and Ken would have arrested me. But I'm just saying.
Good thing you're in fucking Texas, man.
That's right. I was in New York at the time, and I was walking around.
Good thing you're in fucking New York, man.
I was shuffling and lumbering around the Natural History Museum. I don't know. I wish that on no human being, lower back pain. I can't imagine.
Oh, it's awful.
I can't imagine being chronic with that. Please just put me in a cement mixer and be done with it. I cannot imagine living with that chronically. Anyway, so as someone who once lumbered. All right, I just steer clear of Mr. Sanity. That's all. That's fine.
Give you the benefit of the doubt, okay?
Now you're talking to somebody who's like 6'3", 300 something pounds. I lumber everywhere I go.
You're arrested.
But here, I'm saying, I know I'm a problem. All right.
So you don't have a sprightly gait, or you don't?
Hell no.
No. Okay. I don't know.
I'm graceful as hell sometimes, but I lumber like a crazy person. Mike, Tiff, you've met me. You know I lumber.
Yes.
But just
That's so good.
also like with that scene, the way they move the camera, like one point they kind of like I couldn't see it because I had subtitles on, but the officer looks at his foot to see what kind of boots he's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when the guy asks to see the watch, he's like, "Okay, here, you see it." And he just moves his arm, but he doesn't take it off at first. Like little touches like that. I'm like, this is some good damn like just dressing on here. Like the way it's acted. Like this is really good.
It really lets you play along with the investigation. Like at
The whole
that
movie does,
point
yeah.
when you're watching it, you get the feeling like, oh yeah, it's this guy. It's this guy. We got to prove it, y'all.
Yep.
And they
Yeah.
don't.
They fail. They fail miserably.
3 times, didn't they?
They do. The movie left out another part where they find bombs in his house that are close to what the drawing was in the Zodiac letter.
Enough?
No, because it was circumstantial still.
It was, they were making bombs all the time back then.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong, actually. They were.
Yeah, like
So-
this was the time of the anarchist cookbook, so like everybody and their moms was making bombs,
To make the bombs. Let's go to a bomb workshop.
No, that's how you get on a list by Googling stuff like that. No. I do not. There are certain things I do not Google, and that is one of them. You do not look that up.
No,
Yeah, I'd
thank
like,
you.
what do you do?
People chicken.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, she's just making a dumb TikTok joke. It's okay.
People chicken.
Someone.
I was gonna jump to the killing on the beach or at the lake where he stabs the couple. That was the first time in a movie where like something like that has happened and there was no musical sting. It was just screaming, and that's another scene that stuck with me where I was like, oh my god, I don't think you're allowed to do this on film.
It's a violent scene. It's good though, too. Like,
But it doesn't show anything. That's the
Yeah.
thing. There's no like, it doesn't like linger on the stab wounds or anything like that. It's just, the guy in pain and the girl screaming. It's like, oh my god.
It feels like something you're not supposed to watch.
Right.
yeah.
And it's still really challenging to watch. It's not an easy. I cringed, and again, it's like you said, it's not terribly violent or bloody or gross, but just the idea of just seeing someone getting stabbed multiple times in broad daylight is a very scary idea, and that was terrifying. I was very I didn't like
And
that
it's
at
the
all.
way he does it. I mean, he has
Yep.
a gun. He could have shot both of them.
Yep.
I'd rather be shot.
Yeah.
Oh
Me too.
yes.
He ties them up, then he stabs both of them while
Yeah.
they're tied up on the ground.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that drip though. Like Zodiac's got some threads. Like that outfit with the hood and the black suit with the symbol. Like best dressed list of the 70s.
He
let me
did
tell
not
you.
have the hood on before he went behind the tree, right? Like it was kind of a blurry image of just
Oh
a
no,
face.
he did not. No
Okay.
way.
On after when
I did not notice that until this watch, and I was like, "Is this high definition?"
Yes.
What also is really cool about this is that they have 4 different people playing Zodiac.
I was gonna say that's
Oh.
that's what the Amazon credits said.
Yeah, like it's really smart because they keep you guessing, and it's never John Carroll Lynch. It's
Yeah.
always like other dudes.
That's cool.
It's such a good choice to do.
Because, I mean, they don't know. To this day in 2025, we still don't know who was the killer.
We got an idea.
Yeah. Pretty strong idea.
Well,
Yes, I think so too. But
y'all need
We
to
don't.
watch that documentary. You'll be like, "Yep, that's the guy."
except you want to watch it after you watch the movie. If you watch it before the movie, it kind of hurts the movie a little.
Because they left.
No, because you know stuff more than you can't enjoy it as much.
Okay, agreed.
I don't need to watch the movie because that scene that happens at the end where they find Mike Mageau in Canada and they're like, hey, point to the dude. And he's like, yeah, that's the guy that kills me. And they point at Lee. Yeah, that happened because the producers made that happen.
Wait, they found that guy
They-
and said,
Found him and put Arthur Lee Allen's picture in front of him. And he immediately was like, that dude, that's the guy that shot me.
"Holy shit!"
IRL.
That's crazy.
Really?
Yep.
That's wild.
Died.
That's not.
Yeah, wait.
That's not the couple that was the first couple, right? Like
Yeah, the first-
killing
very
in the
first.
movie? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's the only one he does in real life without a mask on. The rest,
He has the hood. That's crazy.
I did
Yeah.
not know that the producers were the reason that happened.
Yup. And that's pretty damn dope, if you ask me.
How
Yeah.
do you? Did not expect
So-
that, for the record.
Back to what we were saying about we don't know who did it. We got a pretty damn good idea.
I mean, I still want them to definitely prove it was him. I still want them to say it was him, positive it was him.
They can't. It's too far gone.
Yeah,
I think someday someone's gonna pick it up and be like, all right, we're solving this bitch.
they're trying.
I don't think they can, honestly. I think look, this happened when? Late 60s? Now it is 2025. It's been about 45? No, 50?
Oh,
More than that.
Yeah, more than that.
So, somebody do some math for me. I don't know how to count.
Dude,
We're about 60. It started was 65, 67, 67, so it's 70, 80, 90, zeros, 1, 2. So we got like 60 years. Like 60
Yeah.
years
we
ago.
all have a calculator that would have been a lot faster.
I have fingers.
Anyway, point is, between 55 and 60 years ago, nobody remembers anything. B,
No.
any records that were around are not anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
the burden of proof is really hard to do at this point, and it's over, right? I mean, we have our idea. We know enough. This can be an unsolved case. Technically, it's fine.
No,
when
it's not.
okay, here's the thing. When author Michelle McNamara actually went, so like there was true crime author Michelle McNamara, former spouse of Patton Oswalt, actually figured out who the Golden State Killer was. Did the research, did the book. The book led to an arrest. They got that one. Arthur Lee Allen's dead. You can't just go to his tombstone and say,
They can
gotcha.
Mirandize him. Yeah, no, they can. What they got to
Posthumously
do,
Mirandize him.
yeah,
Bury him again.
yeah.
They do it for
Put the cuffs
DNA.
on
He ain't
that.
gonna talk.
Put the cuffs on that skeleton.
I'm okay with taking the trial. He can't defend himself.
I was thinking about the that scene again, not to dwell on the scene where the interrogation of the supposed killer Arthur. It reminded me a lot of any Breaking Bad fans here.
Yes, yeah.
It reminded me
I
a
do enjoy
lot.
it.
It reminded me a lot of when Gus Fring is being interrogated by Hank when they have him in the room, and Gus is pretty sure he's got his guy, and Hank's very pretty sure he's got his guy. And he's got a little questions. So why were you at Gail Bediger's apartment? Why were your prints found on a thing? And he has the perfect answer for everything. And he's got the perfect answer, and he's got this foolproof explanation. It just reminded me of someone so cunning and in an easygoing way. It just reminded me of that. I spent half my life watching Breaking Bad clips on YouTube. It's shameful. I could do so much more of my life if I was watching Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad clips online. But it reminded me of that a lot.
100%.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like Gus was a cool customer where like Lee started off, but then like as it went on, he just started like stammering more and became less matter of fact.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Lee is no Gus Fring, but it's kind of that still at temperature of I had the answers for everything. I have an answer for everything. It had a similar tone to me.
I think that's a very fair statement. One thing that I was also thinking about with this movie that I really wanted to remind me of a different movie, but like when Jake Gyllenhaal is going through all the whole thing, like especially when he's at the prison, he's talking to that woman, and she's like, "No, his name was Lee. He was at the party. He knew her." And I'm thinking to myself, yes, your first kill is usually something that you love, something you covet. What do you covet? What you see.
Yep.
Silence of the Lambs, and that's what I can think.
Oh,
of.
yeah.
Like,
It's covet.
close enough. Potato, potato.
Covet.
I spelled them same in my head. COVET.
Yeah, then where do you get COVID? It's not
That's what we all had in 2020.
right.
You had COVID.
It's not.
And
COVID,
if you-
it's COVID.
Oh my gosh! Please tell me someone here has seen American movie.
Oh, I love
Coven.
me some Coven.
Coven. Coven.
I have
That's
no idea what you
cool.
guys are referencing.
Oh, it's a great. We should watch that one on this show.
I've actually gotten to hang out with Mark Borchardt.
Have you really?
Yeah, he was at
Oh,
a film
man.
festival I went to in Milwaukee.
Badass. That's oh yeah, and it all takes place up there. Yeah. That's cool. Oh man, I love that movie. I'm gonna watch that movie as soon as we're done with this recording. I just enjoy that so much.
That's what
Coven.
I
movie.
think of during that scene, and it just went through my brain, and it was good. I love Silence of the Lambs. I mean, One of my favorite movies. So one thing I really want to bring up is we talked about how this movie's 2.5 hours long. It didn't feel 2.5 hours long.
No.
Yeah, it
Like-
does not feel like it.
That's
No, it
surprising,
really doesn't.
especially in a movie with much like there's not a whole lot of killing. There's only 3 different murders that he does.
You go along for the ride. It's taking you on a ride, and you want to know at the end.
You do.
Even we still technically don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. There's probably a lot of people who went to see this movie in theaters in 2007 and might have not known they never caught the guy. You know, I mean, like, yes, I knew too much about the story that hindered a little bit with this movie for me, but it was still, like, I still enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't the movie's fault that I was aware of things that the movie was trying to tell me, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
And see, this is why I don't watch true crime stuff, so I can be surprised by the eventual movie.
I'm upset.
I go through my phases with true crime. It just depends on what it is.
Sorry.
This was one that I didn't even care about the story till last year, and I just randomly watched a documentary, and I got really.
And see, that to me is weird because Zodiac is one of those cultural phenomenons, you know? It's like Jack the Ripper, Zodiac, to a lesser extent, the Black Dahlia murder, the great unsolved crimes.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones that lives so deeply in the American public. Like, Fincher probably wanted to make this movie because he was around during that time. His school bus was followed by cop cars because they said Zodiac was going to take out cop cars or school buses.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure this movie meant a lot to him. And it's always interesting when you find out, you know, that some people do have blind spots for stuff like this. I grew up thinking about Zodiac, not to the extent of some people in this movie, Robert Graysmith.
The way that they portray obsession for him and how he loses his wife, he loses his job, like
Place that he got on a date where he was like, what were they doing? He was like, oh, I have to go call this person. And she still marries him. I'd be like, oh, I gotta go.
he married me.
I know, but you aren't obsessed with chasing.
I'm obsessed with something.
To be fair, that is a pretty interesting date. It's like, no, it's not the usual first date banter. So where did you go to school? So what books have you read lately? Oh, I'm researching a serial killer. Remember that famous one? I think I've heard of that one. Yeah, it's kind of my thing. Like, that's fascinating. I mean, that's an in. And I love at the very, very end when she basically tells him to finish it. Because I don't think he loses her completely. I don't think. But I think they might separate us.
Did.
Oh, in real life he did? Okay.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say, I thought they were divorced.
They fought
because I didn't feel
She
like
dropped
that.
off papers.
Yeah. Oh, that might be.
That's what she had in her hand. I mean, yes, she had the papers with the ID where the birthday matches, but she didn't come there for that. She came there to give him papers to say we're done.
Okay. Must
It's
have missed
on the
that part.
floor. It's not when she comes into the apartment, which they make it look like someone else has come to murder him. Which, my God, did they work with what they don't have in this movie? Like, to build the tension multiple times where you think he's going to get murdered when, like, he can't because he still lives. Like, my God, was that good? Like, that's building tension where you have nothing to work with and you're making it work. I say that was probably the director right there, just being a good director.
Yeah, and you can really tell that David Fincher took some stuff that he learned from Seven and put it to work in this movie.
For sure.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Like rain. It's always raining. It felt like it rained a lot in this. It felt like it's always raining. Maybe was I wrong on that? I'm trying to remember. It rains a lot in this movie.
Rain. There were sunny parts too. It wasn't like as bad as Seven.
That's true.
Yeah, but there was murder during those sunny parts, so
Right.
Very, very true.
It's raining to murder people.
I mean, probably better not to murder people in the rain because then you're going to leave footprints, which will be more evidence. Or you might wash off something. I don't know. I feel like that's probably. I don't know.
Murdered many people?
No.
Okay.
I've been threatened by people that they were going to murder me, but that's about it. So,
So where do we think this ranks in the pantheon of David? Is this the first David Fincher movie we've done on this show?
no, we've done Seven.
We did. But I don't think I was on Seven. I wasn't on that one. But yeah. So other than Seven, we've only done Seven. Okay. So where do you think this ranks in the filmography of David Fincher? Some people will actually put this at the very tippity top. I don't think I would, but I'm curious what y'all think.
It's no Alien 3, that's for sure.
Well, what is Mike Albertin?
You know, I know you're being facetious,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
don't appreciate it. I like Alien 3.
And Alien 3 is better than Resurrection.
Oh
Yeah.
well, yeah, yes. Alien 3
I like
is.
that direction.
Alien 3 is the third best Alien movie.
I wouldn't even go. I wouldn't even go that far. That movie's awful.
No.
I think this is up there for me. I think 7 edges it out just a little bit because that was the first David Fincher movie I saw. And nothing will beat, for me, the reveal of Kevin Spacey walking into the police station and saying, detectives, detectives, and then screaming, detectives! Like, nothing will top that scene, I think, in a Fincher film, for me, at least.
Man, like, I would definitely put it in the top, I think, I want to say at least 5.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, you know, there's a couple that I would say edge it out. Like, 7, I think, edges it out. Dragon Tattoo edges it out. I love the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Yeah, maybe I was curious about it.
Yeah, I like the Fincher.
I was going to say, after this, was his next movie a Social Network?
No, it was The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
I forget about that movie.
Not bad. Not
I
but
actually
after
prefer
that was The Social Network.
Yeah. Social Network, I like that movie a lot more than I should, but I think I like the writing actually more than just the directing. I like
the
that
writing
movie.
in Social Network is good. Yeah.
I have a soft spot.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for it. I recognize its flaws, but I still have a soft spot. For me, I would definitely put it top 3, top 4. I agree. I think 7 would edge it out. I would say Fight Club edges it out, but Fight Club is one of those movies that was very formative. I was 19 when that came out. So talk about being right in the pocket for anarchists, angry white boy stuff. I mean, that is like right. My Chuck Palahniuk. I'm reading tons of Palahniuk. Come on. That was like right in my wheelhouse. That's one of those movies I can't be objective about because it was very formative. But yeah, this is up there for sure. I'm a big fan. I like Panic Room. It's a damn good movie.
Great.
Yeah.
The Game starring Michael Douglas. Great movie.
Never saw it.
Definitely recommended.
And with the girl with the dragon tattoo, I like the Fincher one, but I really love the Swedish version. I think.
I love the Swedish ones.
It's phenomenal. So much better.
But for doing what he could in a small amount of time, I thought he did as good of a job as anybody in America could have.
Yep. Oh, 100% agree. Yeah.
And I've seen Gone Girl. I really like Gone Girl. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember really liking that movie.
I like Gone Girl.
Yeah, same.
I think we're all overlooking David Fincher's greatest hit, the music video for She's Like the Wind by Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Who could forget?
I mean, classic. I mean,
the cinematography in it alone is top notch. Yeah.
She's like the wind.
But going back to Zodiac, this is a stacked cast in this movie. This is
Jesus Christ.
Good Lord. We could spend a half hour just on the cast, but what are some highlights from the cast for you? I personally really, really like Mark Ruffalo in this. I thought it's a part that seems a little buried under all the other bigger performances, but as that gotta get the bad guy cops, trope. I think he's really good, light on his feet. He's got some good lines. There's a good amount of humor in this movie too. There's some very funny things happening sometimes. I think he stood out for me. He has a really great controlled performance. I liked him a lot in this.
Everybody loves Kenosha, Wisconsin's own Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, he's from Kenosha.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Hey, how you doing?
Johnson did something right.
Once in a while.
Hey.
Did something right.
Hey.
Aw, poor Wisconsin.
I was born there too.
Once in a while.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. You were the number one correct.
And even though I kind of can't stand him, Orson Welles.
Sure.
Al Molinaro from Happy Days.
Hey, Al. Can't go wrong with Al.
Got a statue.
That is not.
They're trying to get a statue.
People are still trying to sell me on cheese curds. I don't understand that, but okay, it's fine. It's this thing people eat there. It's cool.
That's so good.
I don't know. They taste like wax. I don't understand them.
I might be wax them, but they're still good. I had some not too long ago.
What they do with that?
Anyway, but yeah, I did. He was from Wisconsin.
Damn good in this. Like, I haven't seen a lot of movies with Mark Ruffalo that don't involve him being green, and this was pretty damn good.
He's great. He's an excellent actor.
Better actor than I've realized he was.
You should watch more Mark Ruffalo movies. He's really quite
really
rude.
No, I just didn't. I mean, I haven't seen him in a lot other than like I saw him in 13 going on 30, but that was a long time ago. I think he was in that movie. Pretty sure he's in that movie.
I thought you were going to say 13 Ghosts for some reason. And I was like, was he in that movie?
Shaggy's in that.
No, he's not.
That would be a good movie, though.
Yeah, it would.
Let's see, who else? Oh, Brian Cox.
Of course. Can't
You
go
gotta
wrong.
give it up for Brian Cox.
Who was Brian
Absolutely.
He was Marvin Belli, the defense attorney.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
that was a good scene.
Yeah.
And his line of, you guys sure know how to throw a secret meeting. On all those cop cars. Oh, yeah, it's good shit.
That was hilarious.
like he's great.
Philip Baker Hall. Come on. So
Gotta love
good.
Detective Bookman.
Yep. So good.
The guy from Gotham is in the show too, or in this movie. So
Who's from Gotham?
Which guy from Gotham?
it was one of the.
Oh, Donald Logue.
I don't know who that is.
That's the guy who played Bullock in Gotham.
Yes, that guy.
I
didn't
only
his name.
know him from that sitcom show that I'm now forgetting the name of.
Grounded for Life.
Yes.
Welcome to being
That's
old.
the only place I'd ever seen him before this movie, and I was like, holy shit.
He's
He also
in
played
Muffin
Quinn
Records.
in Blade.
Oh yeah.
That's where I recognize him from. Damn it. I was staring to the eyes of this person. Like, what do I know you from? Damn it. That was his
To be
crowning
fair-
achievement, of course.
The last time you saw him, there was a lot of techno music playing in the background, and everybody's covered in blood.
Cut off my hand, man. Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
okay.
Another one I want to watch.
Oh,
It's just I'm just gonna stay up all night and just watch Blade. I'm gonna watch American Movie. And
Make sure that you throw one of Sergeant Jack Mullinax's movies in too. Elias Koteas, better known as Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I
oh,
did not
nice.
realize that.
Ah, wow.
From every time I see him, I'm like, where do I know him from?
He could have solved the Zodiac Killer thing real well. He went, oops, and just pushed Arthur Lee Allen into a trash compactor. I just committed murder.
Womp womp. It happens. I freaking Chloe Sevigny also playing the writer's wife. I had no idea that was Chloe Sevigny until I was
Yeah.
looking at the cast.
I don't need
Not a damn clue.
Like
Chloe Sevigny.
very understated role for her.
Yes, she does weird stuff.
Yep.
She's into like strange. She was in Kids and that dumb Dogville movie, which I don't know how you feel about Lars von Trier. I think he's whatever.
I really
yeah,
like
she's done
Lars
some.
von Trier.
I don't know. It's just I don't know.
We don't have to
Edit
agree.
I don't know. He's another one of those directors that I appreciate, but I don't particularly enjoy. I liked Melancholia. I thought that was really good. I've seen quite a bit of Lars von Trier stuff. I don't know.
As the woman in the jail, Clea Duvall coming in for 5 minutes and just owning the screen.
That was a good scene.
The woman in
What
the
the
jail. Which
hell?
one was that? Which one was?
Near the end of the movie,
Yeah, towards the end.
when he finds
Where-
out that the guy's name was Lee.
And then
Yeah.
he's like trying to, he's like, it was Rick.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. She was phenomenal. Yeah. In her 5
Yep.
minutes. Yeah.
We talked about Charles Fleischer already. Jimmy Simpson as Mike Mageau at the end of the movie, giving it up for one of my boys, the McPoyles.
Oh,
From It's Always
that's why
Sunny.
he looked
And Ghost
familiar,
Ship.
and I was like, I don't know.
Jimmy Simpson is great. He's a great dramatic actor. He's a great comedic actor. He's also been on a lot of episodes of Psych. I think
That's where I
like
recognize
4
him
of
from,
them.
too.
Hey, I'm going through Psych right now.
Love
I haven't
Psych.
let's
counted them
start
yet.
it again.
It's a good show.
Go back and watch or listen to our pilot test episode on the first episode of Psych.
Yeah, don't expect those. To ever come
Ooh.
back. That's one of the things I ain't bringing back ever.
And the one person that we haven't mentioned, Anthony Edwards, playing
Everybody
Mark Ruffalo's
knows
partner.
him. I love
Really
his
good.
Edwards.
Yeah.
Like, you don't recognize him because he's got a full head of hair.
Right? Second, like what? 20 years ago, he was bald. What happened?
It was nuts because like I saw him and I was like, wait a minute, that's Goose. It's Gilbert.
Yeah,
No, Dr. Green. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I grew up with
Unfortunately-
Revenge of the Nerds and Top Gun. I didn't grow up with ER.
I sadly too. Tiff, you and I on that one. It's Dr. Green forever. Unfortunately,
Right.
I can't. I have to cop to that.
I like him as Dr. Green. I
Yeah.
do. But that's Goose.
Is that from Revenge of the Nerds or no?
No, he was Gilbert in Revenge of the Nerds. Goose was Top Gun.
Top Gun, yeah.
See, I knew he was in that movie though.
movie's okay.
So like the cast is light years better than it has any right to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did they land all those people?
Because it's David fucking Fincher. That's how.
David Fincher.
I was gonna say it was just like he sent him an email. This is David Fincher. I directed 7. Would you like to be in my movie about the Zodiac Killer?
Somebody could call me up right now and say, "Hey, Ken, do you want to play a pedophile in a movie?" No, absolutely not. Directed by David Fincher. All right. Let's go.
All right, that's it. Okay, cool.
How easy it is to scam Ken into sending you thousands of dollars. This is David Fincher. I need money for my next film.
I need money to complete 7 too. Please send me $500 on PayPal.
I need a Visa card.
And I'd be like, yeah, all right.
7-2 back in the box.
That's horrible.
Going back to Fincher, did anyone see Mank? I didn't even realize that was a 2020 movie that, of course, no one saw because it was in 2020.
Well, it came out on Netflix, so everybody had the opportunity to see it.
We
Okay.
were watching Tiger King.
Yeah, everyone was.
I was obsessed.
I was not. I still haven't watched any of it. And
I've not seen. I didn't see Tiger King either.
You don't need to.
Fucking train wreck.
There's-
I can't look away.
You don't need to.
There's some funny lines in there, like
It's just all so ridiculous.
I'm never gonna financially recover from this. Or what I used the other day was I called for help and nothing, not a fuck you or nothing.
like, I know all the fun lines from like Instagram Reels and TikTok. That's all I need to know.
That's all you need. Yeah,
I don't
that's all
need to
you
know the rest of it. It's poverty porn. I don't want to be part of that
Ooh,
problem.
interesting. That's fair. I've never seen it. I don't have much. That's an interesting way of putting it. It's fair. I never saw
But
Mank and I never saw The Killer.
We were all locked up, you know. It's just like, what else are we gonna do but watch this 8
Watch
episode?
it.
But work every day,
movies.
unfortunately.
So did I.
Play Animal Crossing.
work
I don't
every
know.
day.
Yeah, play Animal Crossing. I did that a lot too.
I did that too.
Recorded a lot of podcasts during that time.
I
Yes, you
watched a
did.
lot of damn Marvel movies with our own Mike Albertin. That's what we did. We watched so many.
Yeah, we did most of the series.
we did half the MCU in during the pandemic, dude.
Yeah.
We were all doing 2 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, we were doing 2 a month during the pandemic. That's right. Yep.
Sweet God.
That Iron
I had a
Man
lot of
episode.
banked up for a bit, and it took them a while to finally get out. So we
Yeah, no, we recorded them all. We recorded like a good half of those MCU movies in the pandemic because we were doing 2 a month and then you were just farming them out, which was really fun because they'd come out 6 months later and like, oh, that's what we were talking about in June of 2020. Oh, I
Yeah, you
remember
don't
that.
remember anything? Yeah, it was great.
It was
Like,
cool.
Oh, I do have a question for you, Bill. So the part when you find out that Mark Ruffalo's character, I forget, Toshi, sent the letters, do you think that was true or false? Or for the movie?
Which one?
In the movie, he
Yeah.
stopped for sending he gets arrested, or not arrested, but he gets investigated by Internal Affairs for sending a few of the fake Zodiac letters.
I think that was interesting because that struck me as not true. Is that true?
That is true.
Really?
Yes, that's true. I didn't know that one either. I looked it up, but yeah,
Wow.
that was true. David or maybe not. I can't remember his first name, but he actually did do that and did get in trouble for it and did pretty much lose his job.
Oh, wow.
All that part was accurate. He got taken off the case and taken on a homicide for doing it. He sent 3 of them, I think.
Wow.
I know what you're talking about.
It was interesting because when that came up in the movie, I kind of was like, okay, that's interesting, but it struck me as being a little unrealistic. Again, I'm just watching this, like I said earlier,
Yeah,
from
no,
a
and that's
pure like I trust nothing in a biopic.
yeah,
You
no,
know,
that's fair.
just-
No,
that's
that
like
is
my rule.
was real life. The whole thing, like when the taxi driver that he shoots and takes his shirt, all that's real. Exactly how it happened.
Wow.
Like they did an amazing job in keeping this pretty close to what really happened. And I don't know, I don't know if you know this, maybe you do, but did Bill or Ken, did you guys catch why they had Dirty Harry there? Why they have that reference in this movie?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's
do.
based
Yep.
off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Which we talked about in our Dirty Harry conversation.
Oh, we did. I did not remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
We talked
Yep.
about Dirty Harry. I also never put 2 and 2 together that the Scorpio was a reference to the Zodiac.
Mike, I'm right there with you. Not
Okay,
until
good.
I
Anxious
saw
me.
this movie and I said, "Oh."
Because I've seen we did Dirty Harry on this podcast, and maybe we talked about it, but my brain had no recollection of anything, and I went, "Oh, that makes sense." No wonder he was pissed too, because he looks really mad when he comes out of that movie. He's like, "Fucking A." He's making fun of him, kind of, or he's, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
He
love they worked
understandably
that in.
annoyed. Understandably annoyed. Yeah, I really like that. Was a really good touch.
I wasn't expecting that, and I thought that was nice. Like I knew it was based on him, but I didn't expect them that in this movie to kind of do that. No, almost everything in here is actually accurate. Like I was surprised how much stuff, even the whole animal cracker gag is a little bit true. Like I don't think he was as bad as that, but he did like animal crackers.
Well, that and Mark Ruffalo's vegetarian.
Oh,
fair. Is the Paul Avery stuff accurate as well?
mostly I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not Paul Avery buttons.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, no, Paul Avery was Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do know that he and Grace Smith weren't friends. They did make that happen for the movie.
I do like that scene where he introduces himself and he's like, I've been here 9 months. It's just, yeah, I know we kind of talked about the comedy of the movie or the funny moments of the movie, I guess, but there's some really good zingers here.
There are.
I guess they didn't actually meet until both of them had already left the Chronicle.
Say what?
So
wow, they just
that is all fake then, I guess, or that's all added. It's good in the movie though.
The movie very believable.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It helps the movie.
It does because it gives us like a grounding. It's not just, three disparate people kind of crossing paths occasionally. You have this friendship as a through line to the movie. And even after one of them, is gone from the paper, you still got, Grace Smith trying to keep him up to date. Hey, we're not done with this. And no, I'm done with this. No, we're not. So like, I respect the need for that kind of a friendship to pull us through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because it does help keep us entertained and having that character building. I mean, I just didn't know Robert Downey Jr. playing Robert Downey Jr. But
yeah, the only thing that struck me as weird, maybe I just missed something in the text, but in the very beginning when it introduces Jake Gyllenhaal's character, Robert Downey Jr. makes a comment like, "Hey, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he doesn't do anything." And then, half an hour later, they're at the bar and he's drinking those bizarre blue toxic looking concoctions, whatever they were called. I can't remember.
Aqua
Velvas. And they're sucking back Aqua Velvas. And I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, there must be like a non-alcoholic drink because he mentioned he doesn't drink. And there, 2 seconds later, they're sitting there. I was was that a bit of a plot hole? I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It made for a very good scene, but
that too.
No.
It does make a good scene.
I just feel like that. I just read it as more he's trying to fit in to get closer to Avery.
Because Avery's like the cool one.
Yeah,
but he knew that Aqua Velva pretty well. He was kind of like, "Oh, Aqua Velva, you should try it. Don't knock it till you try it." He knew. He knew that blue punch bowl. Shush.
No, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was non-alcoholic, just like you said. Because like to me that made sense. But you're right in that next scene. Because I watched this movie. Actually, I watched this movie twice, which is not normal for me to watch a 2.5 hour movie twice in 3 days. But like,
get to Lord of the Rings.
But like, you're right. He starts getting all goofy. I'm like, how is he drunk? He's supposed to be not a drinker. But
yeah, I thought that too. And Mike, I thought you said he likes alcoholic drinks like you used to. Like implying, sorry. I thought you were implying my past as a drunken lout stumbling, lumbering around New York City, Irish pub to Irish pub. I thought you were taking it. I thought you were taking the dig. I thought you were making.
No,
not
in that. No,
fair enough.
Because you said the same thing, and that's why I was like,
yeah.
No, I something I don't bring up.
So an Aqua Velva is 3/4 of an ounce vodka, 3/4 of an ounce gin, 1/2 ounce of blue curacao. Top it off with 7-Up or Sprite.
That'll do it. That will do it.
Bartenders will know how to make an aqua.
No,
I don't know.
Make one yourself.
I literally just told you what was in it. With
you can make it
like measurements and everything.
I wonder if a modern bartender would know, though. That's interesting. Yeah.
We go to a bar enough with your friend. We can find out.
I would imagine that any bartender worth their salt, like if they didn't, would just Google it.
Yeah.
Like
I have a bartender's license and I Googled it in less than 3 seconds. So.
Right. Just Google like what's in an Aqua Velva and then read the measurements and go, yeah, I can do that.
Here's
no
the
problem.
Thing, it's on a page of famous movie drinks and it's got like a little, you can buy a framed poster of Jake Gyllenhaal drinking one of them.
No, that's fun. It's kind of fun. Yeah, it almost sounds like the potency of like a Long Island iced tea, which boy oh boy.
It sounds delicious. It's blue. It has to be.
The last time I drank something blue was UV vodka and Mountain Dew.
Oh God, no!
Back in the day,
when we first met, she came over to my apartment and she brought UV and we drank that. I do.
Wow.
Oh my god.
TMNT cups. Because that's all I had.
It takes me back to fucking high school.
I'm getting a hangover just hearing this. I'm getting a throbbing headache. God.
I mean, I liked it. I remember that, but then again, I try to stay away from anything hard liquor. I don't drink much anymore. Try not to. So when I go to Wisconsin, and I buy a case of Spotted Cow, and then I drink. Other than that, I try not to.
There we go.
It's the only time I'm trying not to. Like I never go to Wisconsin that often. Even though I don't live far, I just don't want to.
Few people drink well when they're in their younger years. Like no one's doing it right. Very few people.
So bring up the drink thing. I do have a funny comment about this. I used to work with a guy who, because I think because of COVID, essentially I worked after COVID, but he had during COVID, he started to buy a bunch of he started making mixed drinks because he couldn't go anywhere. Like I can't go to the bar, so he just bought a book and started making mixed drinks all the time. Somebody that I worked with, I was a drunk. So
I don't know this guy, but just based off of that little snippet you told me, he sounds insufferable.
He made comments at work where I was like, buddy, you need to stop. And we're just going to say this little part. He was watching movies at work. I said, sir, you need to turn that off, man. Like, don't put that back on. So, and that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I was like, yeah. I mean, I'm like, I don't care if you're messing with your phone at work. Like, we were dead. It was COVID time. I'm like, but he had a movie. I'm like, no, man, you need to turn that off. So, that. But
that's interesting.
It was an interesting time.
Yeah, he just sounds insufferable. Like he'd be like, I learned how to make drinks during COVID.
Oh, he talked about all the time.
You one.
I didn't realize he was alcoholic, and someone's like, "Yeah, he's drunk half the time he comes here." I'm like, "Well, he does his job, and I don't know it. I don't want to know it. I'm only here for a small time. We're not going there."
Hey, do you want to try some of my new infusions? No. The answer is no. And I said no the first 50 times you asked. No, I don't.
I'd 100% say yes. Be like, yeah.
It's like me who I don't like wine. I had a coworker who made wine at home, and he brought me a mason jar of wine to work, and he gave it to me in the parking lot, and I was like, thanks. The next time I saw him, he was like, how did you like it? And I was like, oh yeah, it was decent. And then he's like, I can bring you more, and I was like, nah, please do not.
People enjoy when you create something that feels good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
As someone who's done his fair share of home brewing with mixed results, you end up with a lot of it. And you're like, oh, damn.
Unprompted gift, though. I did not know this was something he did. We just arrived to work at the same time, and he's like, I have something for you. And
Lucky
it was
you.
like, oh, no. And wine was probably the best option I thought of.
We're going way off the rails on this. We're just going into a drinking conversation, but I'll very, very, very quickly, and we'll go back to Zodiac because this is a very interesting movie and a very good movie. It really is. I did this might have been during the pandemic or maybe a little after, maybe before, I don't remember, around the pandemic. I had a friend who used to have a Twitch channel called The Weirdlings, and he used to do a cocktail test kitchen, and he would go live on Twitch and he would just make up cocktails. He would just make stuff up. And he was one of those where he was infusing his own simple syrups, but he did it from his kitchen, but he wasn't pretentious about it. He was super cool. He was just like, let's just make stuff up and see if it tastes good. And he would do these drinking streams where he'd invite people. And I don't know how I got a hold of his information or how he knew me, but I ended up on one of his streams and we ended up drinking for 4.5 hours. And I had to sign a contract saying that I wasn't going to drive home. So I had to leave my car at his place because they stayed out of his house.
That's good.
I had to sign something saying I wouldn't drive. I had to get an Uber home and come back the next day.
That's smart.
Yeah. No, that was part of his thing. And it was fascinating and it was so fun. And it was actually a lot of fun. I knew I had 10 too many. We had all these failed experiments. We would try something. Oh no, it's not quite working. Let's try to remake it with something else. Oh, it's not working. And I just started drinking whatever was in front of me like a fiend. I was just
that's what happened.
All the leftovers.
After a while, you just start drinking.
Yeah, it was after 3 hours of it. Nothing tastes like anything. You're just ingesting for the reasons. That was old Bill, y'all. That was Bill 5 years ago. Not any longer. Don't do that anymore. But anyway, back to the Zodiac because
Another thing I want to bring up that with the Arthur Lee Allen stuff, they don't do a lot with him in this movie. I thought he would be in this movie more, but because they never really know who the killer is, I mean, they give you the breadcrumbs because that's what the book is essentially, points toward him. They mentioned this other guy, Richard. Was it Richard Mark?
Oh, Rick
Rick Marshall.
Rick Marshall. Thank you. Yes.
Because he was a real suspect too.
Yep.
But they don't go too much about him. I didn't even know who he was. Like when I was watching this, I'm like, I know a decent amount about this. I'm like, I'm not even familiar with this name. But then again, I think he was one that was discontinued as a suspect. But I mean, I was expecting there to be more stuff about Arthur Lee Allen because there's a lot of stuff to go into with him. But I'm guessing a lot of that stuff doesn't happen until way later, where this movie does not cover.
Yeah, this is really more about the people looking for the Zodiac Killer than the Zodiac Killer themselves. So the character study is not really of the Zodiac Killer because, again, we really don't know, although we kind of sort of do know. We don't really have definitive proof. So this is the story of the people involved in hunting down the Zodiac Killer, which I think is a fascinating angle. Again, I haven't read the book, so I'm assuming the book is because it was the screenplay was written by the author of the actual book. So I'm assuming it follows the same beats, but I think it's a very interesting conceit for a movie because and that's where the drama is. The drama is in Jake Gyllenhaal, getting deeper and deeper, and Mark Ruffalo trying to figure out the crime, and I all of that stuff because that has constant motion. And even though things are happening 3 months later, 4 months later, it still maintains this pace, which is really exhilarating. Where if it was just about the Zodiac Killer, you'd be making a lot of assumptions and follow the idea that this guy's been hunted for 40 years or 40 years, 30 years, sorry, like 30 years worth of time is fascinating and is really, really interesting.
No, I was just surprised because, like, when going into this movie, I didn't expect it to be about them. I thought it was going to be more about the killer, and to find out, like, because the whole movie's from their point of view and showing what they're going through, I'm like, this really works. My only complaint, which wasn't the movie's fault, like, I knew exactly where there's no ending to this exactly, because I'm like, they don't know who it is, and I'm like, but the way they do it still, like, works so good to have it from those characters, and I was just surprised.
That last scene where Grace Smith goes into the hardware store to kind of confront Lee, but not really.
Yeah. So good.
Oh my God. Like,
because you think it's...
Well, I was just going to say, even just standing behind the counter, he's got an air of menace about him.
Yeah.
And by this point, and in case you didn't know, the movie will play a small clip of Donovan's hurdy-gurdy man behind him, just so you can be sure.
That's cool.
Pick up on that. That's amazing.
I didn't pick up on it either. That's great. That's great.
I did not either.
And this is a great time to talk about that fucking song. What the hell, man? Like, even before I first saw this movie, that song always unnerved me.
It's odd.
I don't know.
It is an odd. I don't know much about music. I don't know enough about music theory to tell you why, but it is a very unnerving song. Yes, it's very strange.
I don't think I've ever heard it before this. So
it was used with great effect, and so was Donovan's actual daughter in this movie.
Oh, really?
Ione Skye, Donovan's daughter, played the woman whose baby was going to get thrown out of the car. She was also in Say Anything, one of the greatest movies from the 80s.
Ah, yes.
At least it was in Serendipity.
That also wasn't the 80s.
No, so?
That movie is not no greatest list other than somewhere in my 17-year-old brain.
Big Valentine movie.
It was. If you're not happy with your relationship and want to try a new one.
Oh, boy.
Don't worry, I'm sure Bill's wife didn't think it was a good Valentine's Day movie either. Nor did Bill.
No.
Could you imagine taking a date to this movie?
I mean, I could have got away with it. The woman
I don't know. There's
now 100% would have been like, yeah, let's go.
If I'm your date, I'd be like,
guess.
Oh yeah, let's go see Zodiac.
I just can't imagine like first date, like, yeah, let's go do dinner and go see that new David Fincher flick.
Sure. That's how you test them out.
Hey, first movie I took Tiff to see, that I brought her over to my apartment was Scott Pilgrim, and she didn't run away. So, hey.
I should have.
She doesn't like that movie now. I put it on. She's like, this movie's stupid. I'm like, how dare you?
Well, now you're already married. It's too late now.
Yeah, I know.
Tough. Too bad. My dad took I think one of the first dates my dad took my mom to was The Exorcist. So
that's crazy work. That's crazy work, man.
Yup. That's what happened. And I'm here, so there you go.
Memory of my parents coming home from a date night, and I said, "How was the movie?" And they went to see We Were Soldiers. And my mom said, "I didn't know war was like that." And my dad, who was in the military, was like, "Yep." I was just like, "Uh-oh." They divorced, so
oh,
But
It's
yeah.
not a sad. There was two I remember. One of the first ones was The Exorcist, and another one was Night of the Living Dead. And my dad had it on tape. Like, I never watched it on VHS. And he had little gravestones written on the label, and it said, "They're coming to get you, Barb." This is my mom hated that movie, hated it. It's terrified her. And my dad, of course, had the taped off of TV version, whatever. And it said, "We're coming to get you, Barb," because my mom's name was Barbara, or is Barbara. So it was those two I know for sure. My dad, nefarious. That is some nefarious stuff right there.
In Zodiac, the stuff with Graysmith and his son, like when he's watching the TV show and the Zodiac calls, and then he finally shuts it off once the Zodiac is like, talking about killing kids. It reminded me as a parent because like my kid was watching Inspector Gadget the other day, and they had a character named Dr. Disembowelment Stein.
What?
And I laughed because they correct Inspector Gadget and say it's actually Dr. Disembowelment Steen. And I laughed.
Are you crazy? What?
I'm not. No, it's on Netflix. Leaving soon though. She's really bummed about it. But anyway,
moly.
I laughed and she said, "What's funny?" And I said, "Well, you see, disembowelment is." And then I was like, "I shouldn't tell you this. You're way too young to know what disembowelment is."
She'll go, "Mom, guess what Dad told me?" And you'll hear, "Yay!"
But yeah, just watching this, I was like, I feel that. Like, where you're just like so caught up in just like wanting to focus on this that you're like exposing a young child to violence. It's like, whoops.
Yeah, that's funny though. And the line with where that guy that ends up calling the police to say, "Yeah, I heard Arthur Lee Allen say this." That actually happened too, by the way.
Oh, about how he wanted to pick off the little darlings?
Yes, he had said that to somebody who ended up calling the police saying, "Yeah, I heard this guy say that," like in those lines with those words. So that's real. That's not
crazy.
But that was fact. Someone did report that.
And still nothing.
No actual evidence. I mean, also the people that came forward later. I mean, one thing this movie really focuses on, which is completely 1,000% true, is the whole stuff with like how the police aren't talking to each other. Like, "Oh, that's Navajo's problem. That's not. I don't have that. You need to talk to them about that one. Oh, River Valley's got that one." All that is completely accurate to what happened in the 60s and 70s. To why we have so many serial killers, and accurate to what happened in this movie is also what happened to Zodiac. Why they weren't communicating with each other.
Why would they do that?
They probably just wanted the caller to themselves,
Yeah.
Like, oh, if we catch them, like then we're gonna get notoriety.
Nobody caught him.
Because I mean, it's kind of like in the first scene where the letter is sent out, where they're discussing, do we put this on the front page? And then they're calling the other outlets, and they're like, they're running it on page 12, so like we should. And then if there's, if he does mass kill, it's not our fault. It's like they're not even concerned that they're discussing, like, they're following the whims of a psycho.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That was just something that I thought about. The way they do it is so accurate, because that's like, I know as a guy who's watched way too many documentaries about serial killers, I know that's a big reason why there's so many in the 70s and they get away with it, because police weren't talking to each other. They weren't telling like, "Hey, we got this that matches what you're doing over here." So people could, kill someone in one town, drive away, and then go kill someone somewhere else, and they wouldn't be able to put two and two together as quickly as they should.
Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I don't want anybody to overreact, but I feel like
The Zodiac?
no, I'm not old enough.
And he wouldn't tell you if he was.
I already
right.
fucking said that, Mike. Jeez.
I know.
Damn it.
I really don't think that much has changed as far as serial killers go. I still think the cops don't talk to each other. I still think the media uses it for attention. And I think you could have made this in a modern setting and it would still been pretty damn close to the same movie.
Isn't there an alleged one going on in like New England right now?
Probably.
But the cops were like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, well, people don't want the panic. That's the thing. And back then, we didn't know that panic was bad. Well, I mean, we knew that panic was bad, but like serial killer panic is a different thing.
Yeah, that thing makes sense. I think you're 100% right. I think this still would ring true, even more true in our more sensationalist society. I think that the movie does go to some lengths to basically state, how the media is using this to sell papers. And I think I like the one where they're listening in on the radio station and you have all the crackpot callers calling up and with their opinions on the situation. And so the movie does have it in the text where this is sensationalized, but it's I agree. I think this definitely rings true today too.
Yeah, I agree.
It would be TikTok
So-
sensationalism.
Apparently, the FBI has stated that there's currently less than 50 active serial killers currently.
Oh, well,
Like, that's a good thing.
I mean, that seems like a large number.
Less than 100.
At least
Yeah,
it's not
this is-
51.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's remember.
Hey, listen. 50
A low
states,
number.
50 serial killers, one per state. Come on.
That's pretty
If
good.
you're in Rhode
odds.
Island, you're pretty screwed. But if you're in Texas, you're probably all right.
I mean, there might be 10 down there.
Well, 10.
But hey, it is pretty big. So
49 of the 50. Are you kidding me?
Like, it's wild to think about. The whole serial. I understand why true crime has gotten such a grasp on everybody, because serial killing, it's such a wild idea. Killing one person is crazy enough, but killing like 5+, that's a lot of people. You got to get up early in the morning to do that shit.
You got to get good at it. Like, you got to get good at it and get good at not getting caught. Like, there is a, and it's, gosh, I can't believe I'm going to say these words. Maybe I shouldn't say them.
Do it.
It's like, it's kind of like smart people doing smart things, but only with murder and death and despair. Meanwhile, it is, but there's something intriguing about that, right? And we're always going to be intrigued to that anti-hero, to the person who's insanely good at an evil thing. And I think that's just human nature.
yeah.
I'm not much of a true crime person myself. It's never really got into the form, but yeah, I can see why people will be really into it. They're real life stories of horrible things. And
I really love fraud documentaries though too. I love fraud documentaries.
What do you mean, like a fraud documentary?
Like Bernie Madoff. Documentaries about
Oh, yeah, okay,
who
gotcha.
large fraud and got caught and got what they deserve. I love stuff.
Firefest.
Yeah, Firefest is
Hey,
really good.
You know that second one that got canceled? You know, hey, who the
You
fuck
can.
gave him
I'm
money?
just gonna buy the domain.
Yeah, you should. Why not?
Who the fuck gave him money to do it a second time? Like, this guy's an obvious. What am I saying? We voted for a con man twice. So hey, what can I say?
Well, like, nobody gave him money. That's the problem.
Yeah, I was saying
Yeah,
no one gave him any
Nobody
money
gave
for it.
for the second one.
Oh, so
he-
how the fuck did he even
He
get
announced
anywhere?
it. He announced it, and then he said, "Actually, it's canceled, and the domain is up for sale."
He just said, I'm going to do this thing. And then people went crazy. And then
I
he
thought
chuckled.
sold tickets.
I could say, hey, I'm going to have people over my house buy tickets. No one would. But for some reason, people did for him, because you got to be in on a meme.
like he was like, Jay-Z's gonna be there. Blink-182 is gonna be there.
Why did he ever really say for Fire 2? Like, he said, we're keeping the list. I'm telling you, promise you, there's gonna be something.
We're keeping the list. We're checking it twice, folks.
Yeah, we're keeping this on the DL because you
reminded
can
me
trust
something
us.
That isn't in this movie that happened in real life for this whole event. One of the other things that they didn't include is, like, in the letters they talk about how he references the one movie with the guy that hunts the humans.
Yeah.
There's also
Yeah,
another
Most Dangerous
movie
Game.
that he mentioned that they forgot to. He says in one of them, I made a little list, which is from another movie that Arthur Lee Allen played for his kids when he worked at a school, and liked that movie a lot. So it must be just a random coincidence that happened to be, in the letters. So
What movie?
don't remember the name of it. And it's in that documentary, but they talk about it. But it was in one of the letters, and that wasn't brought up in here. But I just wanted to mention that funny thing, because when you said list, that's where my brain went immediately. It was, oh yeah. Oh, one thing we haven't talked about yet is, God, do they smoke a lot in this movie?
Yeah, they do.
I mean, it was the
Carson,
It was the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Man, so that made me want a cigarette. Not gonna
Did
lie.
it? Did it? Oh.
I watched the director's cut while I was sitting outside one day.
Now with 50% more smoking.
Yeah.
100% more smoking.
Is there is the director's cut have much more to it?
It's only a few minutes longer.
Okay.
Like, it's not the 3-hour cut, but
Gotcha.
whenever there's a director's cut available, we watched the theatrical version for this one. But, like, there are certain directors that you go to for a director's cut. You go to Fincher for a director's cut. Rian Johnson, whenever he has director's cut, you deal with Rian Johnson. Ridley Scott, director's cut, with the exception of, Alien, go with the director's cut. Like, there's a lot of directors out there that I would trust with a director's cut that's not just marketing. And this one it adds little bits to scenes that just gives the movie a little more life, a little more fullness.
Okay. I usually start, again, it depends. Again, if a director's cut's available, I usually go online to see if it's worth it. Because again, most of my experience has been very marketing focused.
Yeah.
But you're right. There are certain directors that I'll say, okay, yeah, I'll go with your director's cut. I like to see how it's presented in theaters. I always like to see what that initial experience was. For me, there's something genuine about it. But I do agree there are certain directors where you pony up for the director's cut.
Was curious.
David Ayer's Suicide Squad. You guys
Sure.
failed to mention.
Sure. Great.
Yeah, only because that hasn't come to light yet. You
think
give
they're
me
ever
that
gonna
movie,
come out?
I'll sit down and watch it.
I swear it came out on DVD. Did it not? Was it not the
No.
Blu-ray
They
version
never
of that
released it.
movie?
WB
I
said
got
this video.
scammed.
There was an
There's-
extended cut.
I never bought it,
But-
to be clear, because I did not like it.
I
But
thought
I
it
thought
was
it
better
was.
than everybody says. But there was an extended cut, but that's not David Ayer's director cut. Like even he's like, no, this was a completely different movie that I turned in, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that
So-
was a big thing, but I don't think we're ever gonna get it after the WB's of fucking. They're not gonna spend money on anything. A whole nother. But yeah, no, it never came out. I was always curious about that though. I did want to see it too because I had heard that one of the podcasts I listened to, I'm pretty sure this is accurate. A long time ago, somebody who actually worked on the movies, he had saw the Ayers cut. And he said, "Hey, this movie's good." And then when they went and saw it in theaters, and he saw it with him, he's like, "This is not the movie I saw." So
I
don't know.
have a question. As someone who enjoys the occasional film here and there, what the fuck is up with like 18-minute standing ovations at film festivals? What are we doing?
Sign of respect.
Okay.
That's really
I-
what it is.
I was
I
going to
just-
say wankery, but that's,
Yeah, that's what it means to me. Like when I'm scrolling, like Facebook or something, and it's like, oh, this movie got an 18-minute standing ovation, and it's like, why?
I'm
Like
not
I get
for
standing up
anybody
and clapping
this.
and saying like, oh yeah, okay, like good job on your little film, but 18 minutes of clapping,
a lot.
like that's too much, man.
It's a lot to understand. No, it's fair. I'm teasing, of course. Yeah, it's like a respect thing. Yeah, it's yeah. It's fine. I'd be embarrassed I'd be embarrassed
make
after
fun
like
of it.
6 minutes. I'd be like, all right, stop already.
Right,
Jeez,
I
man.
would be like, dude, just leave a review on Google.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a
I
good review.
like this movie.
I don't think I'm now that you're mentioning this, Nate, I don't think my anxiety would stomach an 18-minute applause break. I think it would be too much noise. I think it would just get on top of
Yeah.
me too fast to be like, stop.
I would just say, shut the fuck up. That's not what the director
okay.
intended. He did not want an 18-minute standing ovation. But I would give this movie an 18-minute standing ovation to tie it back.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. Oh, okay.
Issues when you snuggle your kitty and you decide to let him go, and then he goes, "Okay, I'm going to knock down all the cords and unplug the microphone."
Oh no.
That's called.
Okay. My dog.
While we're recording.
My cat doesn't care if you're recording. The cat cares nothing about anything. I've learned that as a new cat owner. They care nothing. They live on their own terms.
Yep, they care about when you feed them, though. They do care about that.
They do. She's super friendly when you feed her. Oh, she's all purring, rubbing your leg, like, hi, you got my
Good
food.
slave. Good slave.
Yes, good. Yes, here's a little bit of endorphins. Here's a little bit of dopamine for you. You dumb cat. Actually, not dumb. Awesome cat. Smart cat.
I mean, speaking of slaves, I mean, I do like the whole idea, like in Zodiac's letters, where he's like, I'm killing people so they can be my slaves in the afterlife. It's not interesting they put it in here. I mean, it's in the real.
Yeah, is that?
letters. It's in the real.
Yeah,
letters.
that was wild. Like,
He
I
wrote-
completely forgot about that and was like, holy shit.
He was a fucked up person, whoever the hell he is. Like,
Right, whoever he is.
pretty sure after watching that documentary, I'm 95% sure it's Arthur Lee Allen. So,
You just can't prove it.
I mean,
Can't prove it.
there was actually a thing that came out recently. I didn't watch it, but there's some. It's the same. It's some guy who's trying to solve cold cases, and he said he knew who DB Cooper is. Spoiler alert, he didn't. And then he was like, "Oh, this guy is the Zodiac," and it was some military guy that was in the right place at the right time, but he's also dead. But the main reason they thought it was him because his forehead apparently had a scar at the sketches had. So
Interesting.
that didn't go anywhere. I don't think, but that was recent. That was really recent.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gotta
funny.
be pretty easy to just be like, it was this dead guy.
Yeah,
Not
it's just- but
really.
you need evidence to link it. You still
Yeah.
need something. Like they needed to find something that he shouldn't have had.
Finding
That's there. So there was a book that Patricia Cornwall wrote about Jack the Ripper that I read in high school, and I just remember it frustrating me because it was just like it was advertised as like, we finally figured it out, And then the contents of the book were, we didn't really figure it out, but we're pretty sure it was this
We got
person.
your money.
And it was just frustrating. It was just like, come on. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's the same here with this. That I don't think they'll ever be able to completely, like, 100% be able to say who it was, because I don't think I think too much time is, like Ken even said, too much time has passed. You're not going to find the evidence that you need.
Evidence schmevidence. Just do what Ken does. Find the most lumbery person you can in the vicinity, bring them in for questioning, and that's the end of it. And that's all you need to do. Don't.
It's not that hard. I went to Hollywood Upstairs Police Academy. I know what I'm doing.
Tom Cruise would have had this crime figured out before it happened in the hit movie Minority Report. So
Of course he would have. Yes. Pre-crime. Yes.
And you know what he would have done? He would have picked the most lumbery motherfucker.
Yeah, that would have been the answer.
Exactly.
We're all
and then he
missing
would have
out.
ran for like 5 minutes.
If you are fleet of foot, you are in the clear, literally and figuratively in this fiction.
And easily would have caught the one guy that lumbers. Like,
Of course, because it's easy to catch. Sure. Oh,
So a
man.
couple other fun facts in quotations. So
Oh.
the documentary I was talking about that I watched before this, like, they make a really good case for Arthur Lee Allen. It's all based on kids that the mother was pretty much kind of dating Arthur Lee Allen, and the kids grew up with him. And they thought, oh, he's a nice guy, a little weird, but like some of the things they talk about in the documentary is like that beach where he murders that couple. They're like, we were at that beach, or they were up near that area.
And he was covered in blood.
And the girl, who, if her memory, depending on how memory is, she's like, oh, I remember he came up and he had a knife and it was bloody, and he had blood in his clothes, and she tried to clean it off for him, thinking that he hurt himself or something. And when they saw the hood he's wearing in the movie, they're like, we used to make those for him. Those are his diving hoods. So there were a lot of things that they were, because they saw this movie in theaters, and then they're like,
It didn't click until they saw it.
yeah, this movie made them get together and go, hey, this is him.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
He was already, dead.
Stephen King wrote a novel. It was from the wife's perspective, and it was more based on BTK. But just like finding out that a loved one was a serial killer, or just like a depraved human being, like I cannot imagine just the sinking feeling in my gut. It would be like, oh my god, like.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's a
things
lot. That's a lot.
they also said in the movie, like they said in the documentary about Arthur Lee Allen, is that he was a pedophile to them too. They didn't find out till years later, but he admitted to them that he drugged them and touched them. This is all before he died, obviously, but he had said that to them. They're like, well, we ain't ever talking to you again. And one of the letters just got decoded. I think it was in 2017. There's still like one or two that hasn't been decoded.
I remember, it was recently that one of them got decoded.
And in it, there's a name that's misspelled, they think. And people are like, oh, we don't know who this is. This isn't a real person. It turned out that the daughter of the woman that was his mother, or the woman that he was dating, she had that last name. And not a lot of people knew that was her maiden name. And the letter that says he's going to kill her was sent out of Albany, New York. Arthur Lee Allen was in Albany, New York at that time and tried to call her and see her, and she was too busy. And he was angry. And he sent that. So people are like... So there's a lot of little things that tie him that make, if you watch that documentary on Netflix, it really makes you think that he's probably the killer.
well, we'll never know.
No, we won't, but it's really good. I mean, it brings up a lot of interesting points. So I just thought that was really cool. Like, and the fact that they're still trying to decode some of these ciphers. But then again, like, I was thinking about it, like, look at World War II. I mean, look how much fucking work had to go into this code. The hell was the Enigma machine, I think is what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, but that's a machine. That's not some dude.
Fair point. And that was also made to be communicated and used by multiple people to be decoded, unlike this, where it was one guy making his own code with not wanting you to solve it.
Yeah.
I do love how the first puzzle is, that part in the movie where this the random couple solves it. That's real.
Yep. Yeah, I read about that one. Yeah.
Yep, I read about that.
I like that. He's like, honey, you want to solve a puzzle? She's like, sure.
I know.
I love when shit
That
like
is
that
pretty
happens.
awesome.
I like to think it was the woman that actually did all the work in that, but
Probably.
I think it was.
it usually is.
I really hope that they knew what they were decoding, and they weren't just like, oh, it looks like a fun puzzle from the San Francisco Chronicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
The
assuming-
crossword is in a different area.
Killing people? Oh no! Like, what are we doing?
I think they knew. I think the paper says who it's from. Like it's from.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
I think so too. Yeah.
Because that's how they figured out. Because they looked for the letter. They looked for LL, and they knew he was going to use the word kill. So they were able to get you four, three different letters right there.
That's so smart.
I would never have.
People are
I don't
smart.
like puzzles.
I could never figure that stuff out. Yeah.
I don't like.
I would just
Sudoku
go to
puzzles. I don't
Google
like
and be
cross-
like,
I remember as a kid, and like they'd give you like homework and be like, "Oh, here's a word search. Here's a crossword puzzle." I'm like, "Get this shit away from me!" Like I don't want to do this.
I like crosswords. I draw the line at Sudoku. That's the one where my brain just can't.
I can't do
handle it.
Sudoku. I did buy Sudoku for DS though. I remember that. I don't like puzzles in any shape or form. Like even in video games, like I don't like puzzles. Like I just don't want to do them. It's just not who I am. So I mean, like, hey, I'm happy if people did enjoy it. Like, but no, thank you. But it's an interesting touch. I didn't realize he sent that many letters. Like in the movie, they talk about how many letters the Zodiac was sending. I didn't realize it was that many he had sent over time. Like that surprised me. But you guys definitely watched that documentary on Netflix.
I was going to ask if it was on Netflix because I found one. Called "This Is the Zodiac Speaking."
This is the Zodiac speaking. Oh, and then that I don't think they talk about it in the movie, but when the guy calls the TV station, they did find that guy. That was
they talk about it in the movie. Yeah.
Oh, they do?
Because, he mentions that the trace worked and it went to a mental hospital.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that neither time I watched this movie. Yeah, because they called that guy Eric something.
I don't remember if they say his name, but they just say it. It came from they just say it came from a mental hospital. And then the one stab victim is just like, that's not his voice. It's too high pitched.
That guy actually went on to do interviews and stuff about the Zodiac.
I mean,
so he's talked about his story a lot.
Well, like if you got stabbed and you can make some money off of it, make it into a thing, do it.
Man, I would.
I mean, get something out of it.
I would 100%. I don't have any. I mean, thankfully, I don't have any epic things that happened to me where I almost died and have a story to tell. Hey, if it happened to you and you live, why not? Like, And I saw stuff online too because I watched a lot of documentaries about this because it's so interesting to me. Like and that's what like watching this movie. Even though I knew the entire story, like I was still so engrossed in this movie. Like, and that's like I wasn't bored at all. And you guys have talked enough movies with me. You know how I get sometimes.
Yep, Marvel Snap comes out all of a sudden. Next thing you know, no snapping.
There was a little bit of editing, but that's because I was behind schedule. But other than that, no, there was no snapping.
I will have to admit, it's not the movie's fault. There was a few moments of Pokemon TCG Mobile. There's a few moments where because the new packs just came out, so I thought it's like ooh, I got the little alert on my phone saying I could download get a new pack. So I was like, okay, phone, I'll do that. But yeah, no, this movie holds your attention beautifully. It's really masterfully made. It's a wonderfully made movie.
Because that was stuff I didn't really expect, and I was like, wow, it's been on my mind for a long time to watch.
I'm glad we were finally able to do it.
Indeed.
I'm trying to get, and it's a new experience for me. It was a movie I had never seen before, and that's always something that I'm trying to strive for too, is to have new experiences for this podcast.
As you should.
It makes me feel good. Even if I don't like it, I still go, hey, it was a new experience,
Yeah.
Can't be upset. Hey,
we should have like a new experience November where we just make Mike watch like the weirdest crap we can think of. Like the weirdest, like we're just talking about Lars von Trier. Like, should we just make Mike watch like Dogville or the Cremaster Cycle or something? Just some, not horror, just weird out there art house.
Like Reanimator
film school.
Weird?
No. Like film school weird. Type stuff.
Hear Mike sit down for the 8-hour cut of Satan Tango.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right.
I don't see that.
Enjoy Bellatar's slow cinema masterpiece.
I could never watch an 8-hour movie.
We would have to call that. Oh yeah, something. Yeah, we should make you do that one of these days. One of these months, we'll make a theme month.
I would never dream of making Mike do that unless I was there to watch him do it.
Ooh, that's a very good point.
Get Twitch stream of us sitting there watching the movie like
that's a good point. That's a good point because he would just turn it off or play Marvel Snap through the entire thing, and it wouldn't be this Clockwork Orange moment where he glue his eyeballs open so you can watch. No, I guess not. We have to be there.
I need to watch that movie someday, don't I? I've never seen the whole
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
I
tried.
It's fantastic.
It's a movie.
Kenneth,
it's a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie.
What do you think?
I used to love that movie. I've done like term papers on the book. I was very much into Clockwork Orange, and I've tried to watch it semi recently, and just a little too much. I'm an old man now. I just can't. It's a tough watch. But from an artistic standpoint, it is beautifully shot. Like, it is a gorgeously crafted movie, but it's just it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's why I want to see it.
It is a phenomenally crafted movie, though.
Because I want to watch like movies that are considered important.
Yeah, that's up there. I mean, hot take, Clockwork Orange is really good, but it's a tough watch. Like, it's just a challenging.
I tried once, and I got midway into it. I'm like, I'm done. But that was also when my son was like 4 or 5, so time wasn't exactly a plentiful thing at the time. So
yeah.
I was like, I have 2 hours a night to play video games, or like an hour. I'm done with this movie. I'm gonna go do something I want to do. That's what happened with that movie. All right, anything? All right, we'll go to Shelf Stacker Box, and Tiffany had to run away, so I'll do her part. She said she's gonna put this on the shelf, she stayed awake throughout the whole movie. You have no idea how impressed I was that she stayed awake during a movie. It does not usually. She falls asleep during most movies and rewatches it again later. So stayed awake for this whole 2.5 hours. Good. And Nate, what about you?
I put this on the shelf. I've only seen it maybe like 3 times in my life, with the third being most recent, and it's a movie that stuck with me throughout the years. Certain scenes, I think it's beautifully shot. The editing is fantastic, just between like jumping forward in months, jumping between like places, and like, getting warrants. I know there's one scene where Mark Ruffalo goes to a different fingerprint guy, and then he's back in like, the captain's office, which like I'm sure was like 3 days in real life, but it's like 30 seconds of the movie. It's just beautifully placed, beautifully paced. So this is a shelfer for me.
God, like the one scene when they show a year by building the skyscraper to show you a year has passed.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was awesome.
That was a great one.
A little touch, but I'm like, and Bill.
This is gonna be a shelf as well. This is one of those movies that it's one of Fincher's finest, and I think it shows Fincher not just as, I think a lot of people think of David Fincher movies, they think again of Fight Club and of Seven, they think shock, they think gross stuff. This really shows how good of a storyteller Fincher is, because this is a complex story to tell. And like Nate said, and I'm sure others will say, the pacing is fantastic. The direction is great. There's some excellent shots in it. And this just shows how good of a storyteller David Fincher is. So I think this is definitely worthy to be on a shelf. So that's where it goes.
And Ken.
Well, I'm sure you all remember me saying it like meh about this when I first saw it. I can happily say that watching this most recent time, that was not the case. I very much appreciated this much more than the first time I saw it. I really enjoyed my time with it, so this is absolutely going to be on the shelf. This is one that I'm going to keep holding out on buying on 4K. I will buy it eventually, but not until they put the director's cut out. The theatrical cut just got released in 4K, and what's 5 minutes? They could have thrown it on the disc with it, but they didn't. So they can eat butts. They don't get my money. It doesn't go on the actual shelf until I get what I want.
Oh, they don't have. There's no physical release, the director's cut?
I'm not on 4K.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Because on Prime, you could buy either, so I was just wondering.
Yeah. No, it did come out on Blu-ray and DVD.
I should have bought this before watching it, because I watched this, and how I watched this dumb movie, I should say. It's a great movie. You know how dumb Bill watched this great movie? I watched it on Pluto, and because it was free, and I don't want to spend any money.
Yeah.
I bought it on Amazon for $4 because it was on.
I rented it on Amazon for 79 cents because I was like, I'm not watching ads. with
No,
this.
that's completely fair. I mean, I was going to, but when I saw it was 2.5 hours, I'm like, Tiff will not be okay with that. So then I bought it.
I don't know if you guys want
borrowed
this.
it for free.
Nice. I don't know if you guys listen to my AMA, but I've spent a very rough couple of weeks. So maybe that's just a sign of depression. Like maybe that's a depression thing. Bill watches things with ads because normally that is a non-starter. That is a nope. I'll pony up the $4. That's fine.
Yeah, normally.
For some reason, last night I was just like, oh, fine, I don't care.
That happens. It is what it is. It's fine. I'll go last. I'm going to put this on the shelf. I really enjoyed this. Like, I came into this movie, I actually had expectations. I had expectations that this was going to be a good film, and I'm happy to say that it is. And I really liked it. My only issue was completely a me issue, and I can't stress that enough because I know the story and I knew a decent amount. So I'm like, yeah, I know things aren't going to happen here, but it's like that's not that doesn't hurt the movie. The movie does a great job of leading you along, and just I was blown away how much I liked it. So going on the shelf. I'm really glad I finally saw it too.
And if there's anybody out there listening that wants to not do what Bill did, go to your local library. See if they have access to a service called Canopy. The theatrical version is currently available for free on Canopy with your library card. So make sure to support your local libraries. Make sure that we appreciate them while we still have them.
Yes.
That is how I tried to watch it, but for whatever reason, the app was like, you've already checked out too many things. You can't check this out. So then I went and looked, and it said you have 10 borrows available. And I was like, I could not figure it out. But yes, everyone should support their local library and look up Canopy or Hoopla.
If you want to, the town I live in, Cedar Park, Texas, which is the technical town, it's right outside of Austin. We just got a brand new library. They've just rebuilt from scratch, brand spanking new library. It is gorgeous. It is so nice. So I do appreciate a good library. I go there with my son often because he loves to read, and it's a really good time.
Did your library get rid of late fees?
I don't know, but all
of my libraries around me just abolish late fees, and then if you don't return the book after like 2 months, then they charge you like a lost fee.
They charged a loss fee. I don't think they charge a loss fee if you don't bring it back in a certain amount of time, and we get emails. My son is notorious for just losing library books. So we've bought the library a few books. We've bought them a couple of copies of books here and there. He's notorious for like getting a book and then just it ends up under his bed. And then we're like, this is a library book. Oh, there's an email we got from the library. Oh, it's been 3 months. Dang. All right. Now you have a book, Will. Great. But yes.
You didn't for the book, I guess.
Yeah, they just charge you to replace the book. Yeah. And it's usually expensive.
Oh, yeah. That sounds accurate. Okay. Oh, and on the recording, I do want to ask this question, Ken. What movie should we do with David Fincher next?
Oh, wow. Oh, this really put me on the spot.
You're welcome. I know what I would choose, and I want you to choose.
Oh gosh.
Choose wisely. Choose wisely, Ken Sanity.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
This is... Ooh.
You're welcome for me not, saying this to you when I thought about it earlier today and waiting until
you've done 7. So you've done 7, and you've now obviously done. That's the only and this one. So the
only one
I don't know what
is Alien 3 because we haven't done Aliens yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh God damn it!
Do the holy trinity of 2000s white boy and do Fight Club.
You gotta do it. That's what I know you're gonna say no to that. I know you're gonna say no.
Meme 3 years later.
I can't do Fight Club. No, oh God. I love Fight Club, but you know what? I'm going to pick The Game.
All right.
Yeah,
David
cool.
Fincher's criminally under-recognized thriller masterpiece.
That makes me happy because I've not seen it. So that actually makes me happy.
More than once, actually.
Cool.
I've
seen Fight Club too many times. Too many times as an angry white boy. And
all right, I don't know when, but at some point we will do The Game. It will now be on a list in my head and it won't leave.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I actually do. I keep up with my commitments for this podcast. I really do. Ash. There's a few I've been for years, but I'm getting shit done.
Now I want everybody to note that he let me pick a David Fincher movie, not a. So remember that he has more faith in my David Fincher picks than he does in my horror because he knows I will force some fucked up stuff.
Ooh, boy.
I do. There's only one person that I said, "Hey, pick a horror movie," and I let you pick a few, but I think I let Bill pick a horror movie for me, so we ended up with Reanimator.
Yes, because I'm a man of good taste.
Fucking joke about the cat.
I know
You want me to leave a note? Dead cat in fridge?
Oh, it's the greatest. Oh, such a good movie.
Look, Reanimator's awesome. All right.
We keep saying it. My Ken and I have to do our own Reanimator episode where we just extol the virtues because too many people were negative about Reanimator on our episode. So
Yeah.
oh God, it's so good.
It was a different time. I have my movie
It
experience.
was a different time. You're right. It was a different time.
Changed in this podcast.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the person that I was, like when we did some like the early non-MCU stuff, like Sin City, things like that, which is in like the 10s and 20s of the movie episodes that aren't MCU, compared to now where we're over 150, completely different person. And that's a lot of that is Bill and Ken, for you guys introduced me to movies that I would never have covered otherwise. So I never even watched. Just with me, but I appreciate it a lot more because all the conversation we had. So yeah, no, I'm happy to do the game. I have seen the game. My parents actually saw that in theaters. I did not, but I'm looking forward to talking about that at some point later this year. So, cause that's a good movie. All right, I know Nate is his computer's about to die, and we'll go to plugs. Nate, where can people find you at?
Yeah, don't tell people I'm about to die.
Yeah, really.
He's like, I know Nate's about to die. That's scary.
Hey, Nate, you're about to die. Tell us some shit you want us to watch real quick.
Yeah, your posthumous content, please share with everyone.
You can find me on TikTok at Nate Does Comedy 79 and around the Ohio area doing stand-up and at your local drugstore that shall not be named.
All right, and Bill, where can we find you at?
Still just plugging away at A Gamer Looks at 40. I don't know when this is getting released, but I'm sure I'll be doing either Final Fantasy or something. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be doing something retro gaming related, and hopefully it'll be good. And I will appreciate it if you gave the show a shot. If you haven't done so already, just go to agamerlooks4040.com. Has all of my everything, including full playlists of the Final Fantasy series, the Legend of Zelda series, the Earthbound series, and Tales from the Bargain Bin. Yeah, check it out. Hope you enjoy it.
And if you enjoyed this episode, there's over 800 episodes of this podcast. I finally crossed that border. You can find everything we do on Podbean. We do movies, comics, TV shows, video games. If you want to hear our one other David Fincher content, it will be in the show notes from here. Definitely go check that out. If you want to support the show, we do have Patreon. For a little darling vote in our Patreon polls. We have 1 to 2 polls a month. Usually 2, and except when I get behind on schedule. Then but right now it's 2 currently. When you hear this, you have a day or 2 to vote if you listen to it right when it comes out. So definitely go do that. Great way to support the show. Great way to affect the show because things that are on the Patreon poll don't always come back ever because something. So I just throw it on a poll. So definitely go check that out. If you want to be a part of the show, if you want to recommend things for the show, if you want to be on the show, join the Discord. If you want to lurk, that's fine too. But you'll see a link to the Discord. We're always happy to new people join us. Pretty good group. Pretty fun Discord, actually. So definitely go check that out. And I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Free. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram if you go check her out. And check out absolutely the best podcast of Work in Progress. It talks about the MCU movies and MCU adjacent movies. So check out his podcast too. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only, and rate and review wherever you get your podcast. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
So long.